About Cookie Mom, and it's called Love Elizabeth, and we have a video for you. You call and become a member if you can afford to pledge at the $120 level, and so many people have called in, and we want to remind you this is your last chance to get this video. And this video is exclusive to WNED. That means you can't just go to the video store and buy it. It isn't even available at any other public television stations here in the U.S. Just here at WNED, thanks to the efforts of our Director of Broadcasting, Ron Santora, who really did a lot of maneuvering to be able to make this possible, because he knew how much you would want to have a copy of your own. So please go to your telephone and call right now. Our goal again is 50. We're still totaling up. I'm going to let you know how we did on our last opportunity. I think pretty well, but let's get these telephones ringing right away. This is an extraordinary program, and it deserves extraordinary response. Don't you think, Tim?
Yes, Goldie. You know, I just love it when I have to raise my voice over the din of all of the phones ringing, because that means that you're taking advantage of our urging and our invitation to become part of this great television station here. And you can, you know, because it has to do with energy. It has to do with the energy that you impart when you become a member and make your contribution to WNED. We pay a great deal of attention to the people who are members of WNED and who do support the television station, because then we know how to program it with your help. We're turning around this energy and paying off the dividends, I guess, as it were, if you want to think of it as an investment. Well, tonight it's been absolutely wonderful. I did not know that this program existed before. It's a BBC production. It's exclusive to WNED, meaning that, as Goldie said, you can't go down to the video store and purchase a copy. The only way that you'll get your own copy is by calling up and becoming a member of WNED at the $120 level, and we'll ship you the video. You cannot buy it, and I stress that. Dial the numbers that you see on your screen, because then you're participating in this very adventuresome departure from what you normally see on television. I'm really proud to come here and represent Canada and represent the Canadian viewers, and certainly all of the calls that you've heard tonight, as Goldie's been reading off some of the people who have dialed in. There's massive support for what's going on here north of the border at WNED, and of course south of the border goes without saying. It's on both sides of the border. It's borderless is what it is. So please become part of that. If you've enjoyed any of what you've seen this evening, do dial the numbers that you see on your screen.
And Tim is absolutely right. A television signal doesn't know any borders, and that's as it should be. And we're very pleased here at WNED to be able to present this very, very special program to you tonight. Wasn't it just wonderful to see her and pictures of her as a little tiny itty-bitty girl? She was so beautiful. And then on as she grew up as a teenager, helping out during the First World War as a nurse. And then her courtship and her first boyfriend. That was great too. And then as she fell in love with Prince Albert, the love of her life, and the turn that their lives took as Edward abdicated and they became King and Queen of England, and what grace and charm and compassion she brought to that role as Queen of England. So, and then to see her daughter reign as queen. What a wonderful life this woman has had, and we've shared in that tonight. In some little way, we've become part of that beautiful life, and you can enjoy this time and time again, anytime you want. Do you ever get up in the middle of the night and there's nothing on TV but those horrid infomercials? Well, you can have this to put in your video cassette player and you know, enjoy the early years of Elizabeth, and then on through her teenage years and her early married life, and on to when she saw her daughter become Queen of England. What a beautiful, beautiful tribute to a most special woman. And it's here on WNED. The video is exclusive to WNED. We're very, very pleased to be able to offer this to you, because we know that there are so many people on both sides of the border who have loved and been fascinated by this very, very special lady. What a great thing to be able to give to a child or a grandchild. Wouldn't that be wonderful to give them this video as your special gift to them, as part of your legacy and your history? Think about it, and then go to your telephone and make that call right now.
You've laughed, you've gasped, you've cried, you've cringed. You've experienced television at its best, thanks to our members. You can join public television right now by calling the number you see on your screen. Use your Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover card to make your pledge. Or ask for an invoice, then mail in your check. Our operators have all the information. Please, make that call now and become a member of public television.
Jacques Monet is a member of the Monarchist League of Canada and a constitutional historian.
That's right, yeah.
Tell me why you're a member of the Monarchist League.
Well, I think it's a question of loyalty to the Canadian Crown. By the way, the phone number of the Monarchist League is 1-800-I'm-LOYAL.
Oh, interesting. All right. So you should get bumper stickers, too.
I think that's the... it is, I think, part of Canadian history and part of the Canadian culture that we want to have at the head of our state someone who represents values rather than a political party or a majority of people that have elected this person who represents the majority and not the values that the whole country has in common.
Isn't it wonderful that
as we were saying earlier about the Queen Mother, who represents those kinds of values of dedication that people want to then be generous about.
Isn't it wonderful that we live in a country that allows this dual sort of system?
Yes.
It's been a pleasure having you here tonight and learning more about the monarchy.
And it's great that this kind of program can go on that way.
Oh, I think so too.
Yes.
I really do.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Jacques.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling 845-2200 or 1-800-727-1017. Remember, this is your final opportunity this evening to show your support for this extraordinary program and to get your hands on this video, which is exclusive to WNED. Thank you if you have already called, but if you haven't had a chance to call yet, please do it now. Remember, we welcome all pledges, great and small, from all of our listeners, bright and beautiful. And if you can't afford to make a pledge at that $120 level, show your support anyway. Pledge $60 at $5 a month, or a $50 pledge, or $35, whatever you feel you can afford, because I know you want to do something to help the station that brings you programs like In Love with Elizabeth. Many thanks to Jean from Jerseyville, who's going to be enjoying that video, and Dorothy of Toronto, thank you very much. Dale also called in from Toronto, as did Wendy calling in with a nice pledge. Lynn called in from Elma, New York. Thank you. And Jordan from Toronto made a very generous pledge. Mary, thank you very much. Another Toronto call. And Helen from Don Mills called in with a generous pledge. We appreciate that. And Marie from Scarborough, Ontario. And Nancy from Toronto called in. Thank you so much. These are just some of the people who have called in. We thank you one and all for calling, but we haven't made that goal of 50 yet. We're pleased to report that on the last opportunity we took 70 pledges. Thank you. I know that you care about WNED and this kind of programming. Please go to your telephone and make your pledge right now so we can keep this programs like this on the air. Please do it now.
Let's hear those phones. Let's see whether Kia will have to kind of raise his voice a bit above the level of the telephones. That's your opportunity to participate in this very special experiment in democratic television, I suppose you can consider it. It's almost a Canadian theme as we continue with the programming here at WNED this evening with Over Canada, but we've just been through this In Love with Elizabeth, and it carried me away. I mean, as a Canadian, I always get a really warm feeling when I see a picture of the Queen Mum on TV, and it's almost like, you know, we're all watching our grandma on TV because we grew up with the Queen Mum and the royal family. It's very important to us in Canada, and it's really been a pleasure this evening to share some of that attraction and some of that support with you this evening on WNED. Now, you show your support and your interest in the program tonight by giving us a call on the numbers that you see on your screen. This, I think, will go down in the history of WNED as Wasn't That a Night? The night we showed In Love with Elizabeth. It certainly has been a favorite of mine, and I hope if you'd like to see the program again, and you can afford to become a supporter of WNED at the $120 level, then you get to keep the tape, and it's available to you nowhere else. So keep that in mind if it's been a while since you've shown your support for WNED, and you're just, you need a little push to get over the edge, that incentive. Well, let that be your incentive. You can find this program nowhere else, in no video program, in no video store. You can't buy it for love nor money. The only way that you can get this video is to dial the numbers you see on the screen and become a member at the $120 level of WNED.
We'd like to thank Pranzo Ristorante for donating the food for tonight's TV volunteers. Pranzo Ristorante, serving Italian cuisine in the Radisson Hotel and Suites near the Buffalo Airport.
This is it.
This is it. This is the last chance.
Yeah.
So we hope that you're on your way to your telephone, because we don't want you to miss out. We don't want that to be one of those experiences where you go to sleep and then you wake up tomorrow morning and you think, oh,
damn,
I wish I called. Yeah. Don't have any regrets. This is, this is the land of no regrets, and we're delighted that if you've called already, we want to thank you very much, as we thank Nancy from Unionville, Ontario, and Susan from Etobicoke. Thank you so much for calling. Derek called in from Toronto, and Heather from Elmvale. Do you know where Elmvale is in Ontario?
Yes, yes.
Where is
See
it?
Elmvale painted on great silos and bucolic kind of
farm
dairy country.
Oh, how nice.
I think so.
Peggy called in from Guelph. Thank you very much. And Catherine from Toronto. We appreciate that. And she's going to be enjoying that video. Margaret from Peterborough called in. Boy, that's a far way away.
Oh,
that's great. And Faye from Toronto called in. And Emily from Horny, Ontario. Mary from Maple, Ontario. Now, I've heard of that one. Louise from Aurelia, thank you. Diane from Toronto. Scott from West Valley, New York. Thank you very much, Scott. And Mary calling in from North Buffalo. Thank you so much, one and all. We've taken pledges of all sizes. And Tim, that's the great thing about becoming a member is you don't have to pledge any certain amount. You can show your support by pledging anything, really.
It's an equal opportunity thing that we're doing here.
You just have to love great programs, that's all. That's the only qualification.
And that love of great programs is the impetus itself that gets people to call up and join us here at WNED. So simple to do. All you do is use those numbers that you see on your screen. We don't ask you to stop watching the program when it's on at all. That's why you and I like to go back to the green room.
Exactly. And watch
why
too.
would you want to miss any of this? But we do give you an opportunity several times during the program to make your voice heard, to share with us your energy, I suppose. If you like any of the programs that you see here on WNED, this is your opportunity. While we're talking, while the program is off the air, while we're getting ready for the next installment, to call up and literally show your true colors and become a member of WNED.
Well, statistics have shown us, as we read in the paper and hear on the radio, that millions of people are tuned in to that Millionaire Show right now.
Wow.
And they don't know what they're missing, do they? But you made a different choice. They're not likely to call and pledge for In Love with Elizabeth because they'd rather watch something else, and that's fine. That's their choice. But you're a very special person. You chose something that's a cut above everything else. You're an intelligent person. We know a lot about you. And we also know that you're a responsible person. You want to do the right thing. And the right thing is showing your support for the only television station in town that brings you a consistent array of outstanding, high-quality, commercial-free programs of all kinds, of a wide variety to appeal to just about every interest and taste anywhere in Western New York and Southern Ontario. It's a terrific service. You want to be a member. I know you do. Please go to your telephone and call.
Goldie, I think the truth of it is that we all here have a different translation of the word value. Mm-hmm. And we share that with our supporters here at WNED.
That's right.
When we talk about high-value programming, and not necessarily the Millionaire Show.
No, not necessarily. But anyway, give us a call right now, because this is how you you know, let your voice be heard. And not very many other television stations I know ask you what you want to see and say if you want to see more of this kind of program, then go to your telephone and call. I think this is one of the most beautiful programs that we've ever shown. I loved to see the early life of the Queen Mother. It was just wonderful to be able to see her as that adorable little child. And then really over the last 100 years to see what she has gone through, what she has brought to the royalty in England. It's just an amazing thing, and we're so delighted to be able to share this documentary with you tonight. But as we were talking earlier, Tim, it was more than just a straight cut and dry documentary. It was, you know, it had that heartwarming quality to it that just brought tears to your eyes from time to time.
A real human connection,
yes,
and I think
right.
it had to do with the genuinity of the people, if that's a word.
It is now.
of the people that they spoke to, because they had a connection to this woman. As we all feel that connection, they put flesh and bones to it.
That's
and it
right.
was
and they were so charming too, weren't they?
Though?
They were so lovely.
I'd watch this program over again, and I'd strongly suggest that anybody who can call now in the waning hours of tonight's programming and make sure that you take a copy home with you. It's as simple as pledging your support to WNED at the $120 level, and you can have a copy of this to play anytime you want.
Now you can make that $120 pledge and pay it on your credit card. That's an easy way to do it. Or you could even do it at $10 a month. If that makes it easier for you, we want you to have this video so much that we don't want to, you know, say to yourself, well, I can't afford $120 all in one lump. Well, I'll tell you, here's a secret, neither could I. But I pay my pledge on the convenient payroll deduction plan, so it's something like the monthly plan because it lets you make, you know, a larger donation, and you don't have to, it doesn't take such a big bite out of your budget. So that's just an option for you. If you were holding back because of that, well, why not go to your telephone right now? 845-2200, 1-800-727-1017. Those are the numbers to call. It's been a great night so far, but it can be even better when we welcome you as a member of WNED. So please go to your telephone, make your pledge now. It's so very important to sign as many people up as possible. Tim, if everyone who are watching right now were to call in with a pledge, this pledge drive could be over.
Yes.
Tonight.
Isn't it wonderful?
Isn't that great?
If you think about getting the ball rolling in so many different communities and so many different houses and on top of so many different couches, if they'd only get up and go to the phone, we can have it over with.
And sometimes I think in the modern world, you always feel as though your little self doesn't really make a difference. Well, tonight, you do make a difference. You make a huge difference, a tremendous difference, because you become a member of WNED. You help to support these programs, and what that does is allows our program manager, Ron Santora, to go out and get more programs like this for you. That's how it's done here at public television. No commercials, no sponsors to help us pay the bills, but in a sense that's good because we don't have those commercial sponsors to please either. Who we have to please is you, the viewers and members of WNED. No stockholders to answer to, no commercial sponsors, just you, the people who watch and enjoy programs on WNED. I think that's terrific, and I'm proud to be associated with this television station, and I know you are too. I know you enjoy watching, but if you're not a member yet, why not become one tonight? There's no good reason. You can pledge at any level. You can pay monthly if that's easier. You can charge your pledge. The only criteria is that you love watching high-quality programs, and I know you do. So get to your telephone and call right now. It's been a pleasure having our guests here in the studio as well.
You know, in the States they call it
wrapping yourself up in the flag, but I think that we are flanked with the Monarchist League of Canada. We have Jacques Monet on my right and Richard Fines Clinton on our left. Thank you both, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Bringing a little greater understanding about the Monarchist League.
Keep your calls coming in, please, as we go to another beautiful program over Canada. Thank you.